Okay, we're back at AKG Media on the Selling Logan podcast. Today's guest, Dan Petch. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Corey. It's good to be in the questioning seat. Questioning seat, the questioner, whatever.
Yeah. Same. To give our 3 or 4 audience members at home a bit of an idea of who you are. So you basically you oversee all of the AKG Media, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
But you're doing all these things, and I think everyone out there just wants to know, like, how much are you getting paid? just.
I thought you were going to say, do you have ADHD?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, mate. I got that as well. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
sure. How much getting paid?
No, I'm kidding.
Absolute mozza, mate. So bloody
Do
much.
it for the love. Do it for the love.
No, absolutely. I do it for the love. I do it for the people.
Yeah.
And
Truth
eventually,
is, I do it for the children. Yep.
and eventually, I'll do it for the fishing trips.
Yeah. It started pretty quickly, hasn't it? Like, it's just kind of started as a little bit of an idea, and now it's just where it's getting pretty rapid growth, isn't it?
It's going massive. It's bigger than actually anticipated. It actually got to the point where I called Avi once. I was driving, and I said to him, "Mate, I think we're actually hitting something which could be really, really big." And I feel like people aren't. There's still so much room in this market, in the real estate market, to keep doing better. I feel like it's still a bit stale at times, and there's people like some video companies. No disrespect to them, they do a great job what they do, but maybe they're lacking creativity, or they're lacking the ability to get people in front of the camera and make them feel comfortable. And so, we're like, geez, what we can bring is not just cool transitions and fast-paced edits, but maybe we can bring the agents out more, and that could be our brand. And that's what's really catapulting this big boulder effect of growth.
Well, one thing I've definitely noticed is generally because I like to do a little bit of video content. One thing I've definitely noticed is usually when you pay for a video, you get one video and one video only, and that's it. And you just got to make the most of it. Where we're kind of doing at the moment, there's like 4 or 5 different types of videos that you get. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really big gap. Was I feel like, you can pay $1,000, $1,500 and get this one video which is boring and no one watches it. So it's like there's been this real thing of, why would I even pay for it if no one's going to watch it, no one cares. So we've been trying to change is like, can we do like a coming soon campaign where you get 2 or 3 days before it launches, it's short, it's 10, 15 seconds, it's quick, and it's like, oh shit, that was cool. Second one's you in the video. It's like a presentation. It's like you being professional. Next one's the REA. Next one's the sold video. It's like, why can't we just, maybe for a similar price, add more value? Yeah.
Also helps promote the agents, but most importantly, obviously the property that you're selling as well, which is the main reason why we do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. It's a double-edged sword. I think the agent, if they're in it, you get yourself out there way more. But again, that's not the end idea. It is to get more buyers to the property. It's to get more views to REA, and potentially it will create another seller for you as well, because they see your work and they go, geez, Corey presents a property in this really cool, unique way. I think he could do mine the same. I've got this big renovator. There's no one else I would trust to do something cool than Corey Boyd, because I've seen him do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing I've started noticing is the more and more videos that you do, the more comfortable you're obviously in front of the camera as well. And I think that's why there's a lot of agents out there that I don't think do enough property videos. And I think the reason why is maybe they did one time, they didn't quite get the views or anything that they wanted, and they just thought, oh, well, I just paid $1,500 for that, and I got like 500 views and 3 likes. One of them was me principal, the other one was me grandmother, and the other one was my friend who I haven't seen in 6 years. And I think it's really deflating when that kind of happens. So I think going down that path and having structure of all the different videos and the collaborations and all those things, I think that is really where we're starting to excel at the moment.
Agreed. A big thing that people don't realize is you can collaborate with different audiences to make sure that your views get up. So I think for us, if we look at AKG Ray White, they've got an audience of about 7,500 people already on there. So if our agents make a video and it's really good and it's done well, then we say, let's collaborate with you on that. So then your maybe little audience of 200 to 500 people is now seen by 7,500 people. So you have the potential to reach 5, 10, 20,000 people all of a sudden goes like this. So it's really a matter of the businesses and the companies also need to be investing in it too, to make sure that you can leverage what the agents are doing.
Yeah.
And that's what Raywhite AKG does really well. Like they leverage their own brand with their agents so that everyone goes up a level.
Yeah. And that's one thing I've started to learn, because I guess, probably before you guys come in, I thought I would do a great video and then I'd be like, okay, great, I'm going to boost it and just spend $100 on a boost and just have all these randoms who aren't even in real estate mode whatsoever.
Yep.
And then I would think it would be good, but it's not even targeting the right people, because it just goes out to lots of randoms, whereas the target audience is really where they're excelling.
Tia is obviously amazing in this, and this is her part in the business is the specificity, like the targeting. It's like for us, I think a lot of agents at the moment, they spend all this money on their videos, and then it's like throwing a net into the ocean and hopefully you just get some fish.
Yeah.
But there's no bait. The right bait isn't correct. We're not trying to like target a certain type of fish. Tia does it really, really well, where we can obviously create different audiences, so we can target, is it investors, and we target potential people in the areas, is it buyers, who are we actually trying to target, rather than just being like, hey, listen, look at this video and hopefully it sticks, because it just doesn't work. Yeah.
And that's one other thing that, like, a lot of agents out there are probably getting at the moment. They're getting all these lead generation companies that are like, I probably get like at least one call a week, at least, guaranteed 20 leads, get your money back if you don't get 3 listings in your first month. And it's started like with that AI side of things. Like, my question is there anything that you can see AI wise that's kind of in the market at the moment that could kind of see real estate agents be basically taken out of the transaction?
2-part question, I suppose. There is a lot of those people out there that are saying, hey, we're going to guarantee leads.
Yeah.
I actually met with a guy who's a real estate agent in the Gold Coast the other day, and he was saying he was promised by a really well-known person in that field that it's costing about $16,000 for the year. He'll get his money back if he doesn't get any leads, but he's getting no leads, and that conversation is now becoming quite an awkward thing. Or the leads there are getting aren't qualified. They're crap.
Yeah.
I think AI is going to make a huge dent in this. I think if we look at Nurture Cloud, we look at all these big softwares which are being developed, and they're being able to actually generate who the buyers are, who the sellers are, and they can actually start finding these people and going, hey, Corey, it's time to call this person. Like, the AI is definitely making an impact. I think where the industry might be heading, whether it's going to be successful or not, is there are people out there, and I've spoken to someone who actually asked me to be a part of it, and I don't really want to be, is getting rid of the agent full stop, making a one-stop shop. It's just, you press the thing on the doorbell, the AI will let you in to the open home, and then they'll say, send an offer, and then it's all done automated. And I was like, oh, geez. I don't necessarily think we're ready
takes
there.
everything. Yeah.
Exactly. There's no emotion. There's no skill of negotiation.
Yeah.
It's just very down the line. This is what it is, which I think why real estate agent, at least for the next 5 to 10 years, is still a critical part of our industry.
Yeah. How do you go, like, because we're doing so much video content and we're doing so many different things at the moment, coming up with new ideas, like, constantly, like it's hard. It must be hard, like, because I remember when I first seen you, when you previously worked at one of our competitors, and I remember you did a couple videos, and I was like, oh, damn it, like, that's actually really good. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like, that is so good. How do you constantly just try and put new fresh content out there and make it consistent that way? It doesn't look like you're copying anyone, because it's a bloody hard thing to do, isn't it?
It is.
Like, to just state, like, that's what I always find anyway, trying to come up with new concept. But I'm my own one-man band, but you've got to worry about, I don't even know how many agents we've got in AKG trying to help come up with fresh ideas for them.
Yeah, I'm in the luxury space, right, where I don't actually have to worry about the real estate selling side of things. So I don't have to do the phone calls and all the negotiations and all the stress that comes with it. Yeah. So I do have a bit more of a clear runway in that sense, right? Yeah. So, and I do try, and I'm a big on, like, being grounded, and, like, if I need to meditate at times, because I'm like, geez, I'm just too stressed and this life's just getting too much. I'm like, just bring it back in. So for me, my best ideas come in the sauna, they come in the shower, they get times where I'm just, like, away from my phone and just chilling, doing nothing, which I know would be hard for you to take an hour away.
No, like, that's so funny, like, because I'm like the complete opposite. I think of most of my stuff when I literally get to the property and I'm about to shoot, I'm like, oh yeah, no, we should do this, you know, and then I have to send somebody to the shop to buy something like a prop or something.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I usually just think of.
Oh, that's great. You're an on-the-go thinker.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got my little notes. Like I've got all my property video ideas and everything all kind of written out. And then, you know, once I find a suitable property, I'll use them. But,
yeah, I think it's really important because, as you said, the amount of people we're working with and like, hey, can you come up with an idea for me? It's like, geez, I'll just, sure.
Yeah.
But I think I've definitely learned that we need to put more onus back on the agents to like, hey, what's your creative flair? What do you actually like? Rather than me saying, hey, this is a cool, funny thing that you might be good at. And they're like, oh,
but it's not your personality.
Exactly.
It's not,
I'm a big believer on if you genuinely don't think you're funny, you don't have to be funny. You know, you can be quite serious or strong or like educative or whatever that is your personal brand is. Like for me and you, obviously, being a bit funny is great.
Yeah, we try to be funny.
We try to be. Sometimes I look back in 6 months and I'm just like, oh no, that wasn't funny at all.
Thinking? Why didn't anyone tell me?
Yeah, exactly. But then I'm like, marketing's always testing. You're always learning. I'm always trying to find the next best thing. And I'm waiting for an absolute banger with you. I think the whole real estate
Me
world.
and you, yeah.
I punched you in the face once.
That was
his idea too. Nothing to do with me. Not coming from a competitor.
Rocky scene, yeah.
But, you know, I also think that it just works. I think there's only so much of being, hey, welcome to 60 John Smith Street. This is where I was born. This is my life story. And now we'll go into the house.
Let's go inside and take a look. Like, it's just like as a consumer, like, surely I'm not. And I think of that very similar to you. Like as a consumer, I'd be like, oh, let's go in. Let's actually go inside and take a look. Like you're not excited, but you know, you've got to obviously, that's one thing that I've noticed probably in the last maybe year or so is having that first hook. Like within the first 15 seconds, you've got a hook. Probably even less than that, 10 seconds. You got to hook them in and actually get them interested. And that's how trying to create not just content, but viral content for your sellers, because that's the most important thing. Is if you're doing a property video, yes, great, it showcases the property in its best light, but you also want to try and get that out because the price still costs the same, whether you get 1,000 views or whether you get 2 million views, the cost is still the same. And obviously you want to get the 2 million views for the exact same. So if you can have something a little bit witty just to try and really, really drive that audience, that's the whole idea of the property video, I think.
Really well said. I actually haven't even thought of it like that. It is literally the same price for getting more eyes on it. And it's really based on what you put in it. Yeah. And you're right. I think people just look at something, it has to be only something slightly different. Like you could just be rocking up on a motorbike and it's in high quality and people are like, where's this going? Hang on a minute. There's going to be something fun here.
Yeah.
And then they just look for 10 seconds and then, okay, it's 20 seconds. Cool. That was a pretty cool house. Yeah. I think where there's a bit of a stigma in this side of things is people go, typical real estate agent making it about themselves.
Yeah.
But my rebuttal to that is, how fun can you make a house? Yeah. You know, like how fun can you make an Ipswich or Logan house or that's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom and it's still got the old wall paint on it and like, seriously, you can do a couple of quick beats and some cool music, but if the guy in it is being pretty funny or he's doing something cool, different, smashing a wall, whatever, people are going to watch.
Yeah.
So how much would you pay for 2 million eyes on a property video?
Yeah. And that's the other thing, like it does target so many more other people. If you have like a video and it goes out to all these different people, there's so many more audiences and there's so many more buyers that captures as well. And obviously on the flip side of that, you know, if they're not quite looking at buying then, but they might be looking at selling as well. And, you know, you can potentially get stuff off the back of that as well. And which is another huge piece to the puzzle. Yeah,
exactly. I think when I originally came into real estate, I was actually really focused on my videos being targeted towards the actual sellers, the buyers and sellers. But at the end of the day as well, I realized that in the industry that I'm in, a big part of my audience is actually real estate agents and I could actually show them how it's done and maybe this is what actually works. So it is kind of the videos that we're making, you've got to look in terms of a real estate business. Also, yes, we want to get more buyers and sellers, absolutely. But do you ever want to grow your team?
Yeah.
Do you ever want to grow into associates or co-agents and build a brand for yourself? Then putting yourself out there is the best way to do it. People look at you from, I don't know.
I literally have two of my associates at the moment know me because of property videos, and that's where I met them. They came off the back of
exactly.
of that. Like,
real estate agents, what I've seen anyway in my experience, sometimes don't realize that they have two main audiences. One of them is buyers and sellers. The other one is other real estate agents, because they're the ones that eventually you might recruit to your team, and they're the ones that are going to grow you into the next level.
Yeah. With obviously how we're talking about doing property videos and all these things, and you create a banger of a property video, but that's not always the end result, because unfortunately sometimes when you create a really, really good property video and you do something really, really good, everyone's happy, dealing with trolls online, like that is something that I think is and this is why I think a lot of real estate agents don't do online content, because, you know, maybe they probably got a bad comment or something, and they're too afraid that, if I do something somewhat controversial, you know, my audience is going to hate me, and then they're going to comment on it, and then I'm going to be over a current affair or something like that. Dealing with the online trolls, like, because you've had it as well. Like, I mean, I get it all the time. But you've also had this as well, haven't you?
I have, definitely. Yeah, I actually had a podcast with Justin Nickerson, and I told him that the most liked comment on the most viral video they'd ever made was, "He looks like a rat." And he had the same reaction. And then the second most liked comment, so just to give you clarification, "He looks like a rat" comment had another 50 comments under that, agreeing and going, whatever. I was just like, you're kidding me, right? And the second one was, "That looks like a cheap suit."
A cheap suit.
Which it was. I actually think it was my wedding suit.
Oh,
as a 23-year-old, 24-year-old. Jeez, I thought it was hilarious at the time. Yeah. I was like, this is blowing up. And then I've got, this is the most liked thing. At the time, I was like, this is effing hilarious. And it is like, I can understand why it can be a bit of a deterrent. People aren't used to just people throwing shit at them.
Yeah, like it's so hard. Like, because like when I first started doing property videos and I'd get a negative comment, it would literally ruin my day. Like, it truly would just ruin my day, because I'm like, and the worst part is you can't just go back to them and, you know, just call them out and, you know, do all these things. Like, I try to somewhat have a bit of a fun approach to it. Like, if they're being negative or something like that, I'll, you know, if they don't like my type of video or the way it's made, I'll be like, "Oh, so sorry, Spielberg, you know, really apologize. Sorry about that. Sorry, Scotty Cam," you know, if they didn't like the rundown property that we had or whatever it was. So trying to make it a little bit lighthearted. I think dealing with trolls online is a major reason why a lot of people don't do socials, and it just holds everyone back. It really does.
Yeah, on my opinion on this, I think if you were to go under the microscope of what these people are actually doing in their lives when they're actually sending it, geez, I think there's this great meme that's about, you know, there's the Olympic skiers, and he goes up and does a triple backflip, and then he misses it, and he falls over, and then it cuts to the big overweight guy eating popcorn like, "You fucking idiot."
Yeah, I could have landed that.
I could have landed that. Real Homer Simpson looking guy. Yeah. That's how I've always looked at it. It's like, oh God. I typically delete them and go, because it's for them, I think it's just a spur of the moment thing. They go, whatever, and then they don't care about you.
Yeah.
So I just delete it and go, yeah, see you, mate, whatever. And which is hard, because you want to fight back and be like, "Oh, mate, geez, check out you whatever.
Yeah.
You bald.
Yeah.
No,
you want to.
No offense to balds.
Yeah.
People, they rock it.
Yeah.
I took 6 weeks off and I went to Malaysia and Singapore before I came to AKG, and I did a lot of research into where people actually are spending their time. Yeah. And it was looking like TikTok is actually now, the average demographic is 25 to 35-year-olds, which in your area is massive. That's first home buyer territory or young investor territory for sure, young families, whatever. So Facebook was like older demographic, 45 to 65. Instagram's kind of 25 to 45. There's a lot of people that hang out there. But TikTok as well, whilst there is definitely your youth and your young people there, which are probably not the audience just yet, but in a long-term sense, if they're still watching you for 5 years and you're still in the game killing it, they're going to come to you. They're like, "This is the guy I want to keep, I want to work with." But TikTok definitely is like 25 to 35-year-olds are now hanging out there. I don't have the time for it. I know you do.
Yeah. I use a bit of TikTok. I don't really know Instagram too well. I don't really know Facebook too well. I think just TikTok's just, you can just log on and there's just videos there straight away. I don't know. I'm probably lean towards more TikTok.
Yeah, there you go.
But the thing is, TikTok's also a lot harder with content. They flag a lot of things, so it's a bit of a tricky one. If
True.
you can, because they flag music, they flag copyright like instantly. So
Yeah.
if you can get it right, it works really, really well. But
Yeah, it's hard. I think in this industry, it's like there's so many platforms that you need to, like, there's even Snapchat. Could you use Snapchat as a way to network with either more people, like in terms of in the industry, or buyers and sellers when like, hey, doing the local drops or giving this out to the community? It's all photo based, but I don't have the time for that either. I've just got to, I think it's really important for people to go, this is my maybe set 1 or 2, which are my strong points. I'm just going to find my audience and where they are and just keep pushing that way, because otherwise we get so split with our time, and you've got 100 other things to try and do, plus a team you're trying to manage as well to make sure everyone's on track. Does your team manage your TikTok or?
No. I manage the TikTok. They do like the other things, like they send me in the group chats. They send me all different ideas late at night of, we should do this trend. We should do this trend, and I was like, maybe, we can look at that. Fuck no, like, there's no way.
Have you ever danced on TikTok?
Oh, I'm actually doing. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do one later. I'm gonna do a little bit of a dance, but it's
amazing.
It's not amazing, but it's part of a trend at the moment. But
sure.
But yeah, dancing, not really my style. But yeah, for the views, I might. Who knows?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Another thing I wanted to also ask is AKG Media.
Yeah.
It's not just exclusive to AKG Media, is it? You guys are.
Yeah, we're now going bananas. So
I seen you, because I was like, what's going on here?
What
are they doing down the Gold Coast? We don't have an office down the Gold Coast. What's happening there?
Yeah. We are opening up to be a proper business.
Yeah.
Obviously, a big part of what we're doing is Ray White AKG we can't compete with our main guys. We don't want to.
Yeah.
But areas like the Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast, we were there yesterday with Matt Nickerson, Justin's brother, which is cool. But making a few ads. So we wanted to start doing a bit more like commercials. We want to start doing like advertising, social media, like videos that are just kind of cool and are more out there.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of space we're heading. Even like we're running the One Conference media, and all the sponsors that come on board, we're going to make a little cool video for them to play on the screen. And that's kind of, it's a way for us to show our creativity, but also get them in front of 1,000 agents as well. So it feels like there's a lot of untapped potential still.
Yeah.
And it could be massive.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that one time when, I can't remember, we went to a conference. I think it was down the Gold Coast. I think it was Justin Nickerson's conference. The one down there, and everyone's there, and you've got computers and everything all set up at the conference, like, and you've got the team, the editors, everything all in there doing their thing, tuned in, and there's people just all walking around going, what's this? What's this? Like, yeah.
It was cool advertising. Hey, we just had the logos on. Sudip was on the camera, absolutely getting every angle.
Yeah.
He's doing the podcast today. Shout out to Sudip. And yeah, we've gone from a team of 3 at the start to a team of 9 within 5 months. And I reckon that could be the point where it might be 12 to 15 within 12 months, with photography sectors growing. And that's next thing we're pushing. Do we have someone that always does BTS behind the scenes and social media and TikToks for the agents while we're out there? So if you're booking a shoot, can we that be the next roaming person? It's like, wow, here it's another value add. We're just always thinking value add, because for us as well, if we collaborate with you, you get to tack onto our middleman audience who collaborates with everyone else. Yeah. So if we're with Matt Srama, which we were the other day, we use his audience, we go, hey, we did an ad for Matt Srama. The next time I see you, Corey, you're like, well, these guys saw them with Matt Srama. Now Matt Srama's audience is getting attached to yours. Yeah. So it's becoming this really like catapult effect. We can become this really cool middle ground for people to grow their audience, which is really sick.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's actually really exciting kind of to have that, and just as I walked in before, and all the guys in there just all tuned in, just doing videos, like 4 of them all just, going at it. So, and the turnaround time as well, like that's the other thing, is it's pretty quick. Like usually you'd have to wait, a week and a bit for property videos. And
I think what we've done really well, which we're trying to implement without giving away too much of our secret sauce, but we are putting specialists in their specialist roles, and we're creating teams around it too. Like we actually want to create a collaborative but competitive environment where the video team have an editor, So the videographers have an editor, and they work together to make sure that they create the best content. They can bounce off each other and be like, oh, that was cool. Can we do this better? Can we go up a level? Can we get another client? Can we work with someone else? And if we do that and we maximize that, and obviously we create a business which is helping financially, but also creating freedom, why wouldn't people want to keep joining us? So it's a cult revolution.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your time today, Dan. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Corey. Good to be here.